Two clubs, 136 trophies between them, one city, but only one team can be the biggest in Scotland. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. We are here to ask the question. It's been asked many times, I think, throughout the years, throughout the decades, but screw it. We're going to ask it one more time, right here, right now, in October 2024. Who is the bigger club? Is it Celtic or is it Rangers?
Yes, we're going to ask it, and I, for one...
You're going to sit on the fence?
No, I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'll answer it, but I'm not going to answer it yet.
You know, he's not going to answer it yet. He's going to see if he's going to back up in the comments, but there was 1,500 people that voted, so that's almost more people than watch AEW. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, I don't blame you. But yeah, 1,500 votes, 62% have said Celtic, 38% have went Rangers. Also 46 likes there. Martin would be proud, or not quite. He'd be having a panic attack if he only had 46 likes.
I need 150.
But there is 173 comments, and we will get to those comments in a minute. Everybody can have their say. We will dissect every single last one of them. But Celtic have won this poll, 62% to 38%. So just out of every 10 votes, Celtic just about edging more than 6 votes out of the 10. So honestly, man, I think we're at a stage now where you cannot argue that Celtic are the biggest club. I think for a while, it was certainly Rangers. I think for my lifetime growing up, it was Rangers. And then it got to a point where Celtic were closer. And maybe you could argue it was 50-50 at one point. But really, I mean, there's only one thing that Rangers have over Celtic at this period of time that matters, and that will pretty much be wiped out come the end of the season. And there's another thing that they're both level on that could be in Celtic's favour come December. So the things that Rangers have bragged about, which makes Rangers the biggest club over the years, over the decades, they've no longer got that. Bragged about having the most league titles, probably be equal come the end of this year. Bragged about winning more trophies overall, it's already equal. Celtic could be in front, by December. So I really don't see what Rangers have left to suggest that they are the bigger club. I mean, Celtic, I think, have a bigger fan base around the world. They've got a bigger stadium. They've got a higher capacity on average every season. They've got recent success in terms of history. I mean, they've dominated Scottish football for the past 15 years. They're the elite club for Scotland that you associate with the Champions League. Rangers, you associate it with the second tier competition of European football. It is what it is. They've got a lot more money than Rangers. That can't be denied. Financially, they're well better off. They've got a better squad than Rangers. That cannot be denied. They're a better run than Rangers. That cannot be denied. They've never been relegated, unlike Rangers. That cannot be denied. They've both won a trophy in Europe, but let's be honest, Celtic have won the real European Cup, whereas Rangers have won, the B version, call it. It's like winning the Champions League compared to winning the Europa League. We all know which one you want. So you can factor in a lot of stuff, but for me, I can't see past it being Celtic anymore. I really can't. And come the end of this season, once Celtic level on titles, that's the last thing that Rangers have in their favour, and it will probably be gone come April, beginning of May.
As you touched on, every Rangers fan that bragged about having, the most cups, the most trophies, the most league titles, that argument is now going to get thrown back in your face because...
It's a hard time for Big Stevie Cool.
No, it's not. No, but, I'm a fair guy, right? I am impartial, right? I'm all that stuff, but you can't have it...
How can you be impartial when you support one of the teams? I think it's impossible.
No, it is impossible, but I do my best. Alright? Well, you don't support either team.
So I am impartial.
Some people disagree, though.
Oh, just because I don't like either or Ida. I don't care how you pronounce his name, shit.
Well, let me pronounce this, right? Yeah. You know what? See the same people that's been crying about, we've got the most league titles, the most trophies, most successful club in the world, all that. When Celtic catch us, and I mean, they're level on trophies right now, and I think they're going to overtake us, right? Then what's your argument? My argument was you would have to have sustained success.
But they have had that?
Yeah. And that, well, let me get to my point. I think the last 12 years has done unsurmountable damage to Rangers. I mean, obviously, right, in more ways than one.
No, but look, see before Rangers went down, Celtic and Rangers, I get it, right? Rangers won 9 in the 90s. But see since Celtic stopped the 9, Rangers and Celtic from that point onwards were pretty similar. You know, in terms of winning it kind of equaled itself out.
Yeah.
Would you not agree? From 2000 up to 2012, I believe that I think both teams won 6 leagues each. Is that correct? I think it's close enough.
Right, yeah.
Right, so my point...
in 2012, Rangers are like 9, 10 league titles ahead. That's a massive difference. That's just been completely wiped out. And that's why in 2012, it's Rangers every day of the week.
9? I think they were at least 9. But the point being is that when you look back at 2012...
Right, it would have been more.
When you look back at... I think it was 11. But when you look back at 2012 and you're looking at that 11 league title, it would have been easy for you to look at that and believe in 50 years Rangers would still be in front. Because it was so equal and the titles were being shared out equally that you just didn't really feel like Celtic were... That lead felt like it was going to stay around.
See, in 2012, though, Rangers were ahead in Scottish Cups, weren't they? They would have been. They're still ahead in League Cups. Rangers, I think they were joint on trebles in 2012. Celtic have won so many since. It's everything. In 2012, it was no doubt.
Yeah, but
undoubtedly Rangers,
but
right?
Look, see
now, answers on a postcard.
Celtic
I'll get to them in a minute.
Celtic were 11 titles behind, I believe. If you equal that out for every 10 years, Celtic win 6 trophies to Rangers' 4 in the league. Mm-hmm. That's taken 50 years.
Yep.
To get Celtic to within 1.
No.
Because they're only taking 2 trophies every 10 years out of Rangers' lead.
Yeah.
But what Celtic have done is they've won 14 out of the last... I believe it's 14 out of the last 15. Or will be at the end of this year.
Yeah, will be at the end. Yeah, something like that.
So Celtic have just completely, wiped out that big margin that Rangers had. And that was like, that seemed to be Rangers' saving grace.
Yeah, but like I said, Rangers in 2012, they're ahead in pretty much everything. Now, not so much. And, I mean, you're right, there's not much of an argument for Rangers being.
Plus, recent success has to count for something as well.
See when Gerrard won 55, see if Rangers turned it around then. Absolutely, but they didn't. See if they won that Europa League, that gives them the extra European trophy, man. In this day and age, Europa League's very hard to win for a Scottish club. It's all the fine margins at the end of the day. But
yeah, I think if Rangers, let's say Rangers followed up the league title with another couple and won that Europa League, I'd be sitting here saying that I think Rangers are probably the biggest club.
Yeah.
Because at least they would have an extra European trophy, even though it wasn't the big one, and they'd still be ahead when it comes to league titles, and they'd still be ahead when it comes to overall trophies. But, I mean, right now they're not ahead, so let's look at it. Celtic, Rangers, let's look at the honours. So we're not counting, obviously, lower league, because you don't want to count them, you don't want to be in the lower league, so it's only top flight trophies that are counted, as we know. So Scottish Tier League Championships, Rangers are 55, Celtic are 54. I think the likelihood is right now that will be over. That will be level come the end of this season. Yep. I expect Celtic to level at 55. Scottish Cups, Celtic are ahead. They have 42 to Rangers' 34. So it's plus 8 there for Celtic. Scottish League Cups, Rangers are ahead 7, obviously 28 to 21. But on aggregate, in terms of domestic trophies, it's currently level, 117 each.
Yep.
When it comes to European trophies, Celtic have a European UEFA Champions League Cup. Rangers have a UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. So that's 1 trophy each there. So overall, in trophies, it's 118 all in. So, I mean, the next person to win this League Cup will go ahead. Unless Aberdeen win it, or unless Motherwell win it, then both of these clubs, will stay on 118. I think the most likely thing is, come the end of the season, I believe Celtic will level Rangers on league trophies won, and I also believe that Celtic will overtake Rangers in total trophies won, because I'm just not convinced that Rangers win a trophy this year.
Yeah, I would just like to retract. Celtic still were ahead in Scottish Cups in 2012, by the way, but there was only 2 in it. So just to get the fact checkers out there. But as for the right here, right now, you know, the future suggests, the near future suggests 118 against 118. It's only going one way.
And if you want to look at the all-time head-to-head record, these teams have played 442 times. Celtic are ahead in that as well. And for a long, long time it was Rangers. But obviously, over the past 15 years,
it's been annihilated.
Apart from the Gerrard era,
it's been absolutely annihilated.
Celtic have absolutely dominated Rangers in Old Firm. Now, Gerrard, to be fair to him, I think he's got 8 wins out of 13. And that's phenomenal. And people say, "Oh, he's a shite manager. He wasn't any good." Well, he was good enough to beat Brendan Rodgers more often than Brendan beat him. So that is what it is. But you take away the Steven Gerrard period at Rangers.
I believe it was 1-1 apiece between the two of them.
Well, who cares? He wasn't losing, was he? So that's the point.
All right, I'm just kidding.
It's 8 wins out of 14. Doesn't matter who the manager
was
is.
Fucking brilliant. Take me back, please.
Gerrard had Celtic's number. That is factual.
He did. He had it in his wee book, his phone book.
When it comes to head-to-head games.
Aye.
But other than that, since Rangers went down, it's been absolute one-way traffic. Celtic have dominated this fixture outside of the Gerrard years. And I see Celtic increasing that gap. So I see Celtic getting further ahead in the head-to-head. I see Celtic getting further ahead in the total amount of trophies won. And I also see Celtic this season levelling the league trophies won, and then I see them in future seasons going ahead as well. So, is what it is. For me, I just don't really see, I don't see the case of Rangers being a bigger club. I think Rangers were a bigger club and now they've been overtaken. Now, I've seen a few Celtic people in the comments saying, why are we asking this question? It was the same answer in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Are you telling me for the past 60 years Celtic have always been bigger than Rangers? That's bullshit. I don't know why people just can't be honest. It's funny.
Well, put it this way, 60 years ago they hadn't won the European Cup.
He said the 60s because they not win it in the... When did they win it? 67?
Aye, but I'm talking 60 years ago.
Yeah, but he was using the 60s just as a decade. But listen, winning a European Cup doesn't automatically make you a bigger team.
No.
Look, there's been some big teams that have won, or some small teams that have won European Cups, and some big teams that haven't. And you're not going to suggest that... No one would suggest that Chelsea's a bigger club than Arsenal. They're just not.
No.
But they've won a Champions League.
Two,
and Arsenal haven't. So just because Celtic won the Champions League or European Cup in 67 didn't make them bigger than Rangers. But, I mean, what we're seeing now is that they are. I mean, who was bigger in the 90s? See, in 1994, when Celtic were on the verge of going out of business and Rangers were in 9 in a row, you telling me that Celtic were the bigger club and I mean, the stadiums were half empty. You telling me that Celtic were the bigger club just because they won a European Cup 30 years ago? Absolutely not. But in this period...
Take me back to 94, sir.
But in this period of time... And also, I've also seen people say that Aberdeen are bigger than Rangers because they won a Europe... What a load of nonsense. You've got to be off your rocker. It's debatable that Aberdeen are even the third biggest club in Scotland, and people are trying to say they're bigger than Rangers. See the hatred, man, and bias that some people have, yet they'll try and pretend that I'm biased.
You're the man. Don't listen to
Why? And another thing, I did not say...
Here we go.
I did not say Ross County were the better team, right? I said that Ross County created more chances, and there was only one keeper that had anything to do in the first half, and that was Schmeichel. Second half, Celtic came into the game more. Still don't think they deserved to win, considering clear-cut chances. What did they create outside the 2 goals that were lucky? They created nothing. And that's a fact. Let's not pretend that I was sitting saying, oh, Ross County were phenomenal and that they were the better team from start to finish. Those words never left my mouth. But yeah, I don't think Celtic deserved to win.
It'd be funny if someone clipped it and they did leave your mouth, wouldn't it?
Well, clip it then.
I'm not saying you did.
Anyway, I think Celtic are bigger than Rangers in 2024, and I don't think that can be denied. See if Rangers go on to dominate. See in 15 years' time, see if Rangers have won like 12 out of the last 15 trophies, and they go back ahead in all these stats, and they're ahead in the amount of leagues won, and they're still ahead in the amount of trophies won altogether, and they're ahead in the head-to-head, and they've got like recent success over the last decade where they've been the dominant team in Scotland, and I think you can make a case. I think you can make a case that...
Big if, right? But say Rangers won the treble this year. Are they bigger than Celtic again?
No, because it's one season. And I think they need to have...
But you say it's one season, I get that. You need sustained success, totally get that. But the record books will say that Rangers have won more trophies than Celtic.
I know, but fucking who cares?
And what if Rangers put 15,000 extra in their stadium? That's more people in the stadium.
Are Rangers going to win the treble? Are Rangers going to expand Ibrox to 65,000? The answer to both of them is no.
No.
So, are you going to give your answer yet?
Jimmy T, lad, mate. I'm on my knees, Jimmy.
Or are we just going to get into the comments?
I'll give my answer.
Let's get into the comments because
I'll give my answer right
you're,
here.
you're sitting on the fence.
I'm not sitting in the fence. Let me get my fucking answer it. Right, I don't sit in the fence. I'm not a shite bag.
You're a fence sitter, mate. Let's go.
No, I'm going right here, right now. It's obviously Celtic.
Obviously.
Yeah, right now it's Celtic. Yeah. What I think is, I don't think it's completely out of the question that Rangers can get it back quickly, but they need to turn it around and see what the fucking board's done. No, see 2012 and the years after that, right? I can accept being pissed. Everyone did. But as they got on top and they dropped the fucking ball, they've got blood on their hands. I'll never forgive all that board. I'll never forgive fucking James Tavernier. It fucking pains me what's going on at the minute, right? But, aye, happy clappers, they clap away. Fucking Clement, man. They're celebrating that win against St Johnstone, and Celtic are fucking hoovering up trophies like it's going out of fashion. It's fucking disgusting what's going on. There you go, there's the truth.
Out of the categories, which one is the most important to determine the bigger club?
Overall trophy count.
Overall, so that's it?
Aye.
And right now they're level?
Yeah.
So you think what's second? European Cup? Or league trophies? Fan base? Capacity of stadium? Or attendance in stadium? Recent
I think
success?
it's a tough one, right? Because if you put the... Let's look at league titles against the European Cup, right? Then let's compare like Liverpool United. Liverpool have won more Champions Leagues than Manchester United.
They're not level in trophies, league trophies.
I think United are still ahead. I think United are like one ahead. Don't quote me on it. But I think down in England, league titles are worth more than the Champions League, right? But you've got to factor in our league. See with Celtic though, but see in England, they're going to have chances to win the Champions League again. See up here, man. Rangers are always going to have that against them because it is borderline impossible.
Yeah, Rangers can never level that. Rangers can never equal that.
Unless there is something that changes the face of football.
Yeah, there was some guys saying Aberdeen are second because they've got 2 trophies in Europe. And it's undoubtable if they ever win a Champions League, they'll go above Celtic, and he'll admit it. Well, that's easy to say, because that's never going to happen.
Aye.
You know what I mean? That's like me saying...
Hold on.
That's like me saying if Hibs win...
Celtic fan said this.
Aye, if Hibs win the Champions League, I'll admit Hibs are bigger
Hold
than
on,
Hearts.
Aberdeen won the Champions League, right? And they're about, 50 fucking odd league titles behind? No, that's a load of shit.
No, it's just someone talking shit because they know it's not going to happen.
Yo, if Aberdeen win the Champions League, does the gap between Aberdeen as a club and the Old Firm close? You bet your bottom dollar. But do they overtake the both of them? Not a chance.
I mean, Rangers are ahead 55 trophies to 4, and yet people are on here claiming Aberdeen are bigger.
Yeah, and it's not even like Aberdeen won the Champions League. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, there's a much better argument that Aberdeen aren't the third biggest club in Scotland than there is that they're second.
Don't even entertain the second one, right? That's what people want. Fuck, it's look at how world football perceives the fucking Scottish leagues. Who in world football thinks Aberdeen are bigger than Rangers, man? It's the Old Firm. No,
Celtic fans.
Because they're brain dead, that's why.
Anyway, let's go here. False Teeth said, let's be realistic. Neither are anywhere near the size or scale of the big English and European clubs. Scottish football is shrinking faster than ever. Celtic and Rangers are so far behind the elite of Europe that they will never catch up. While football grows bigger and bigger, Celtic and Rangers shrink faster and faster. Both had a spell in the late 60s and early 70s when they were sizable clubs, but that was halfway through the last century. The fact that Dortmund absolutely humiliated Celtic 7-1, but Celtic couldn't do the same to Sligo, should tell you everything you need to know about Celtic's size and position in European football. As we all know, Celtic's history is built mainly upon myth, and Celtic FC is no different. Conclusion: it doesn't matter who is the bigger of the two, because both are irrelevant. Right.
I'm going to bury this guy.
I'm going to disagree with that. I mean, I think to call Celtic or Rangers irrelevant is insane. The size of these two clubs, they're not irrelevant. See if you can sell 50, 60,000 stadiums out every single week. See if you've got the fan base at Celtic, the loyal fan base at Celtic. You're not irrelevant. Now, can you be smaller in comparison to the European elite clubs? Absolutely. But to say these clubs are irrelevant is a load of shite. And also, you can't base it off one-off games. Yeah, Celtic couldn't beat Sligo Rovers 7-1, but you know what? They just beat St Johnstone 6-0. And St Johnstone, player for player, are better than Sligo. That was just a bad game.
It was the D team they played against. I can't tell who this guy supports. He kind of went in on Celtic at the end, so it makes me think he's an English fan who doesn't like Celtic.
Yeah, no, but I still believe Celtic's D team should be beating Sligo. It's a one-half game.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, let's be honest, right? See, in terms of size of clubs, Rangers and Celtic are in the top 5 in England every day of the fucking week.
I'd say so. I'd say if you put them in England, the top 5 are those two, United, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That has to. I mean, for me, absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd probably put Celtic and Rangers both above Arsenal.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, anything more to add to this guy?
No, but seeing you look at like world football, man, like in terms of size and fan base, I mean, Rangers and Celtic are up there.
See if Celtic are in the Premier League, I don't think Kieran Tierney goes to Arsenal.
No, absolutely not. But
look at you. Tell me Van Dijk goes to Southampton if Celtic are in the Premier League.
Of course he doesn't.
Moves like that don't happen. Anyway, John Tate.
The league is dying, though. I'll give him that.
John Tate says it doesn't. Do you think the gap between Celtic and Rangers are getting bigger?
Like both of them?
No, I mean between them and the rest of the European elite.
Oh, aye, yeah, of course it is.
Really?
There's more money in football than ever before.
Alright, okay. I think they've clawed it back a little bit. I think the gap was biggest when Rangers were at the league.
Oh, aye, yeah, but that's an abnormality thing.
Fair enough. John Tate says it doesn't really matter because both are small clubs beyond the Scottish border. I mean, but they're not small clubs, are they though?
No.
Look at the amount of fans that Rangers took to Manchester. Small clubs don't do that.
No.
Look at the devastation in Manchester.
They are world renowned, man.
Two fans don't do that.
Rangers and Celtic. He says beyond the Scottish border. You've got Rangers and Celtic supporter bars across the world.
Like
Literally.
Look at Celtic. They did an American tour.
Yeah.
I mean, they were promoting that, and there was like Celtic clubs, Celtic bars in America. It's like you just don't have bars from the smaller clubs. I'd be surprised if there is Aberdeen bars across the world, outside of Scotland, outside the UK.
Yeah, no, of course not.
But you get Rangers bars.
Yeah.
Across the world, Celtic bars across the world, so.
Know how you know, man. Both teams had a club football game.
Very true that. Both teams had a club football game and they don't make them for irrelevant clubs.
Yeah.
Small clubs.
I know it's 20 years ago, folks, but...
Aye, well, hold on. The gap between Rangers and Aberdeen were closer back then.
Oh, aye.
Because Aberdeen's won one trophy since then and Rangers would have won quite a few. Probably closer to 20.
Where was the Aberdeen club football?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The gap between those clubs has actually got bigger since then, though.
Yeah.
So if you're arguing that Aberdeen are bigger than Rangers now, then you'd have to argue that they were bigger than them back then.
Yeah. Let's see. Right.
Roddy Scott says in Scotland and the UK, Rangers globally Celtic. John Tate says globally no one pays to watch Celtic beyond Scotland. I know the question was who's bigger in Scotland. The answer to that is Rangers. Thoughts on that?
What's he mean though?
Well, he means that
way?
he means that Rangers are bigger in Scotland and the UK, but he thinks that Celtic are bigger globally. He thinks that Celtic are probably bigger in Asia.
Well, I would say Rangers are absolutely bigger in the UK. As for Scotland, I mean, I'd say it's pretty much.
Well, Rangers probably have more fans in the UK because if you're from England, you're a lot more likely to support Rangers than you are Celtic.
Yep.
For obvious reasons that we just don't need to go into.
You want to get into them? No.
But also, if you're counting Ireland, then obviously Celtic are going to be more popular than Ireland and Rangers. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But you know, I wasn't really counting it in terms of popularity. I'm counting in who's the biggest club, and popularity can play a factor into that. But it's not the only. Just let's say they did a poll, and Rangers had more fans than Celtic in Scotland. That doesn't automatically make them the biggest club. That's one factor.
Yeah, of course not. No.
So, that's what it is. Ryden Alley says, I don't really follow football, but I'd rather be a okay, blah blah blah. Alright, so this guy's just basing it on his religious viewpoint. Fair enough.
I agree with that. Donald Trump's the same, big man.
Jimmy Stokes said, Rangers have never closed down any part of Ibrox, even down in the lower leagues. Celtic closed the Lisbon Lions stand when they were struggling. Well, actually, that's true. I actually love a Celtic fan to tell me what is the excuse, right? What is the excuse for Rangers? I think it was was it 2015 season? What is the possible excuse for Rangers having a higher average attendance over Celtic when they were down in the lower leagues and Celtic were winning the title in the top flight?
Because they're obsessed with Rangers.
Can someone explain that to me? Now, they might say maybe Rangers had better teams than in the Championship. Rangers had Hearts and Hibs, whereas... Does that mean Hearts are bigger than Aberdeen then?
Yeah, but I mean, you've got...
Yeah, according to these people...
All you hear, though, is that...
But according to these people, Celtic were going up against the second biggest club in Scotland in Aberdeen, so they should have been doing...
All you hear, though, is that
numbers.
they don't get bored of success, so surely when Rangers are out the league and you've got a pretty much guaranteed, success of winning the league, then you'd be there.
Let's see what the comments are saying to this guy, because I think that's a valid question.
Ibrox was shut last month, but it's because of building, a wee bit different.
Just having a laugh, mate. I knew
a wee bit
that.
of banter, a wee bit I like that.
Well,
it's been very nice so far. Not much hatred.
Yeah, but I actually want to know. I actually want to know Alan David McNaughton's reasoning for what. So what's his excuse for Celtic actually having to close down a stand?
He doesn't want to admit it.
Here, did Rangers know of poor attendances in the 80s though? Pretty sure that some attendances were under like 10k.
Who?
Ibrox.
Oh, I didn't know they did. I wasn't around, mate.
That's the new form derby for you, almost put Rangers out of business. Andy W says, absolutely no competition. Celtic light years ahead, and I'm not even a Celtic supporter. There you go.
Light years a bit extreme.
CME 1994 says, Aberdeen with a picture of Donald Trump.
Got no beef with that.
John Fietto says, used to be us Rangers, but moronic boardrooms full of idiots making stupid decisions have screwed us. Celtic are going to pass us and our trophy wins, and there needs to be severe repercussions for those at the helm who have allowed this unthinkable to happen.
Pretty much what I said earlier. Yeah, it's like that board has got blood on its hands. The players have got blood, and they don't care. They don't. They're losing the Old Firm, and like the day after, man, you've got Butler and Tav and who was it? Can't even remember the other guy. They're all posing, smiling for the new face scans on EA. It should make their stomach turn the fact they lost that game.
Tuyo says Rangers died due to green and white. Fact.
Is it fact? AFC says Aberdeen. Come on, you Reds.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What's going on here?
I don't know. The code shall set you free. That's what happens when you got a left click and a right clicker that's approximately the same shite. James Golder says, who cares? It's Scottish football. It's about as irrelevant as San Marino knowing that's just lies. That's just lies. I mean, see if you feel that way. Why are you on this page?
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just being... If you honestly feel Scottish football is irrelevant, then that's all we really talk about, so...
Yeah.
You know?
He says it's irrelevant, right?
As if it's not got the highest attendance per capita in world football.
We've got the biggest rivalry in the world. I'll stand by that.
So am I. It's
fucking half and half.
Hardly irrelevant, eh? 1888 says only a moron wouldn't say Celtic. I mean, I get that now, but I wonder at what time was it not Celtic? There must have been a time where it wasn't them. Because Rangers have pretty much led everything through the years. The fan Pablo says, how can this even be a question? One massive global club versus one new co whose old co's greatest achievements was winning a defunct cup. No one watches the SPFL, mate. Okay.
Yeah, but they still are a global club. I mean, both are global clubs.
Aldor FC says, both big club in a shit league. He's wearing a Rangers top. To me, that's just as good as saying Celtic are the bigger club, and I just don't want to admit it.
Alright.
You disagree?
That's pretty much what he said.
Alright, fair enough. The drummer says, everybody grow up. I'm bigger. No, you're bigger. For fuck's sake, get a life, man. Silly wee boys. How? It's a genuine question. Are we not entitled to ask who's the bigger club?
I know. Get a life. What? It's a football channel, mate.
This guy's life's that great that he took time to reply to them.
I know. Thank you, the drummer.
Oh, capitals, he means business. Oh, fuck. Man, he means... Oh.
Someone's about to do the Roman Reigns point up here in a minute.
John Sanford said, the only team to accept a title they didn't win on the park, 10 games left. Fact, all the big teams played the games. I mean, I get that, but I mean...
I thought that was disgraceful, by the way.
Are we really going to...
Relegated your wee team.
I know. Wee team?
Aye. Third team.
Are we really going to hold that one season against Celtic, though? Big Jock New says, Celtic's the biggest pedo ring in the worldwide football. I'll give them that one.
Acknowledge me. Wee finger poke up there.
Big Jock New, ATP. Is that the tennis? ATP? That's the tennis.
We are the people, mate.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I was just counting New as in...
Anyway, I mean, doesn't really have an overbearing factor on who's the biggest club, but...
Bob says, tell you who knows, Big Jock knows.
We are seriously diving in.
Yeah, we're getting into the kind of bad comments territory. Hamnick says no one cares about Scottish football. Scotch football. Oh, I mean, again, why are you here then? I mean, Rangers died. I agree with maybe not the name of the channel, but I agree with the comment there. See for all these people that say nobody cares about Scotland, why would you be wasting why would you waste your time replying to this if it's irrelevant or nobody cares?
I know.
Just seems mental. Audrey Hall says the kiddie fiddlers are all Palestine supporters and terrorist organisations. They are not a genuine football club.
That's a pretty big comment there for a golden retriever, isn't it?
I mean, you can say they're not a genuine football club, but they've got the same amount of trophies as your genuine football club, assuming that you support Rangers. So it's like, I mean, they're kind of doing something right, like. Francis Green says Celtic are the biggest club in Scotland due to stadium site. Here, do you think this black mark on Celtic with the last few previous comments that we spoke, is that a factor in their size? No. Or does that just taint them a bit, but not in terms of club size?
I think it taints. Well, no, I know it taints them, but it doesn't affect the club size. You know what I mean?
Celtic are the biggest club in Scotland due to
look at Dowrawee, right? Recent controversy, Vince McMahon. Does it mean they're smaller cause of it?
No, probably not. No,
I mean, it's heinous acts at the end of the day, right? But for me, it doesn't. Who knows, man? I can't be arsed getting into it.
Right, Francis Green says Celtic are the biggest club in Scotland due to stadium size, then add on unbroken history, then add on trophy count, add in investment, business model, so many areas Celtic are in front. Even closing one part of their ground when fans desert at them.
Jimmy Stokes loves that.
David Connor, since when was this even questionable? Might have known it was fog football and their pish content. Why is this guy saying it like from the beginning of time then? Celtic, since day one, even when Celtic weren't around, they were the biggest club.
That's according to David Connor.
So as soon as Celtic were created, bang, overtook everyone else.
Looks that way.
In Scotland.
Clearly Alloa, says Sands. Alloa, pretty big club, we'll give them it.
Clearly Alloa, yeah, it's clearly not. Hugh Trodden says, what a stupid question. Here's a clue. Bunch of 4-leaf clovers and I didn't mention stupid.
3-leaf clovers, mate.
3, 4, who cares?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Beer Guy says, you know what? Ban me if you want. Sectarian scum both go cry me a river. Atheists, FTW gods, not real, nor would it want a gay fashion show in orange sashes. The worst music imaginable besides KSI, the flute. GFY, did Jesus play up front for Celtic? No. Did your beloved King William play for Rangers? Grow up.
Beer Guy's went off the rails, but
I think Beer Guy's been on the beer. I don't know what he's talking about here. He's completely lost me.
I think he means wait. I think he's saying both clubs are sectarian scum. God's not real. Would it want a gay fashion show in orange? The worst. I think he means like the music that both fans produce. And all that.
Well, I mean, I can agree with that. Just maybe not worded the best, but I agree. I mean,
you know what though, right? They can pretend that all that stuff's horrible and something like it is, but it adds to the rivalry, man.
Oh, he literally was. I wasn't getting into that though. I'm simply asking who's the bigger club, so.
Yep. Unhinged McNugget says they're Irish, end of.
Are they? And Rangers are English, so Celtic 1 million times bigger than Rangers. Come on, they're not a million times bigger. Stefan said Helicopter Sunday, 800,000 watched the Celtic game, 1.7 million watched the Rangers game. Research for yourself. Well, maybe.
We'll need to research that.
Maybe there's truth to that. We'll see what.
Yeah, but where do you whip those numbers out of? You know what I mean?
Oh, amazing. Big effing deal. That was the old Rangers.
What Helicopter Sunday?
I don't know. Over 118 foot. I mean, I guess there could be a couple of reasons for that, but whatever. John Boy says, honestly, why are we still entertaining this daft question? The answer was the same in the 60s as it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s, zeros, and 2010s, right up to the modern day. For fuck's sake, it's getting embarrassing at this stage. So see when Rangers did 9 in a row in the 90s, were Celtic still the bigger club, despite Rangers outspending them and just being better in every department, really? And Celtic fans were on their knees. Celtic as a club were on their knees. Were Celtic bigger back then?
Of course they weren't, but Johnny Boy doesn't want to accept it.
Yeah, so anyway.
90s.
See, in the 90s, Rangers were by far the bigger team.
Yeah.
All the way into the early 2000s as well.
Oh, no, of course.
I think it was Rangers all the way up until, I'd probably say till Rangers went down.
Aye, that's what I'm saying.
And then I think the tide began to slowly turn, and now it's Celtic's favour. RO22A06 says most successful club in Europe, Aberdeen. How about no? I don't care. I've got the most European. It doesn't mean shit. It means
that's what he says. He said that's all he's saying. He's saying the most successful club in Europe is Aberdeen. He's not saying they're the biggest club in Scotland.
You're not. That's insinuating that they are the biggest club because they're the most successful club.
Is
in
it
Europe.
though?
I'd say it is. Well, why put it there then?
I like to give my.
What relevance has it got then?
It's got no relevance.
Exactly. So the reason it's there is to say no, we're the most successful club in Europe. So
maybe he's just happy his wee team's at the top of the league.
Well, he's not going to.
By the way, I've just said by the way about 10 times. Aberdeen have only sold 15,000 at their semi-final allocation.
That is absolute pish. I tell you what, you can talk about who the third biggest club is, but Hearts don't have to give back tickets.
No.
Never has that happened.
You don't give back any of yours, don't you? No,
I keep on me.
You keep all them.
John Reeves Williams says the only way to really solve this is to ask fans from other clubs, because obviously Celtic fans will say that Celtic are bigger than, and Rangers fans will say Rangers are bigger. I'm a Rangers fan, so guess what I'm going to say? I mean, you're probably going to say Rangers, but I mean, you could just be honest and tell the truth. I mean, there's always that one, you know what I mean? How about that for an idea?
I know pains to admit it, but I think Rangers were, and the last 12 years has been brutal.
Ian Smith says you're going to have to broaden out the choices or change the question. But we're just not, because the answer's not Aberdeen. I'm not even going to entertain the possibility it could be Aberdeen. Without a doubt, the Dandy Dons are the biggest club in Scotland, the only Scottish club with 2 European trophies, Cup Winners' Cup and European Super Cup. Again, it's just not them. It's just not them. Do you want to go into this and dive into this, or?
Not really, no. We've 150 odd comments to go through.
Zach Morrison says, I'm a Rangers fan, so I'd say Rangers, but you can argue they're both the biggest club in Scotland. Celtic won the European Cup and Rangers were the first team to reach 55 league titles, and they won the Cup Winners' Cup. Why is 55 such an important number, by the way? Why 50?
Yeah, like what about when Celtic reached 60?
And they're going to do that before Rangers do it, let's be honest.
Yeah. It's just...
that's the likelihood.
Yeah.
55 isn't an important number. It just happens to be the current number that Rangers are on. I'd say 50 is much more of a landmark.
Yeah.
Let's see the comments are saying to this. At the taxpayers' expense. So when Celtic become the first club to win title 56, they become the biggest. They reached 54 then died. Sevco won one in the COVID year. 54.5 titles. Basically just Sevco comments.
See this two totally different. No, see this two totally different clubs.
Alexander says you have to realise it was only the financial side of Rangers that died. Rangers Football Club has always been the same. A bit of the same as Celtic back in '94.
No, but see this whole two different clubs. How long is that wee running gag going to keep going for? We're 12 years removed.
Mercury says, first of all, there are no Rangers. They were liquidated in 2012. They ultimately died to catch Celtic. Celtic have won 9 in a row twice. When the Old Co Rangers got their 9 in a row, they cheated by the use of EBT, yes. And so they did for the few years of the title 54. They were buying players with money they should not have been able to afford. Going to the public purse for hospitals, schools, all this shit, leading to the club being sold for £1 and ultimately into liquidation. The creation of Sevco, called Rangers. In case you missed it, Rangers died in 2012. The whole of the world football witnessed it. Right. I mean, it says that Rangers died to catch Celtic. Rangers were in front of Celtic, so I don't think they were trying to catch them.
Yeah.
Maybe you could argue to stay in front, but certainly not catch. I think it is a bit embarrassing that Rangers were bought for £1 though.
That isn't, yeah.
I mean, that's for me. That's just mental.
No, it's crazy.
That's like the most eBay shit you've ever heard of. That you could buy a Rangers Football Club for £1.
Free post and packaging.
That is mental. Right, Archie football. Celtic stand out significantly compared to Rangers in several key areas.
Oh, God.
Alright, finances, yes. Marketability, yes. Scouting, yes. Sponsorship, yes.
Scouting for the wrong reasons.
Branding, yes. Worldwide appeal, yes. I mean, I'll give them those 6. Well, Rangers also has a rich legacy and devoted following. Celtic's recent achievements in these areas have given them a competitive edge. I don't think that's a fair comment, though. I'd say so.
Yeah, but see all those 6 reasons, like you said, like in the 90s, Rangers would have, well, I mean, apart from the whole Irish connection, don't have that, but, you know, Rangers would have had all that.
In their favour?
Yeah, so, yo, see when this fid gets, see if we're still rocking it in 2050 or something. Doubt we'll still be talking here, but if we are, maybe we'll have a different conversation. Maybe Aberdeen have just won like 34 in a row, starting this season.
Gary McDonald says, Rangers have millions of fans in the UK, Celtic has millions of fans in the UK, Ireland both have millions of fans. 50-50. Sounds like a Rangers fan to me. James Connell says, obviously it's Celtic, Rangers died in 2012, hail hail. There's going to be a comment about that moustache. No, I guess not.
Decent moustache, you know.
No, it's very good. Like, Simon Hodges says St Andrews, Murrayfield, or Turnberry. It's insulting to have Aberdeen in that not to have Aberdeen in this poll instead of Rangers. I think this is the guy that was basically saying Aberdeen are bigger. Can't be asking through the comment, but basically said because Aberdeen have won trophies in Europe that they should be ahead of Rangers.
You know what's funny? Saying because Celtic are the dominant club, it's like Rangers are a dominant club compared to Aberdeen.
Yeah, so, aye. There you go. Horam Grumbo says Celtic has won the big cup, have more fans worldwide, have a bigger stadium, and they'll soon have more titles in Scotland. Not even close. I think that's fair, man. When Celtic overtake Rangers, the titles is the last thing that Rangers have got to cling on to. So see, once they no longer have that, I don't see how you can make a case for Rangers.
This is really depressing me.
Even if you made a case right now, I'd say it's a weak one because, I mean, it could literally be level. But like, I mean, see if you, the only case you can make for Rangers is the biggest club will be the one with the most league trophies. And if you wanted to accept that, then you'd be like, fair enough. But come the end of the season, it's going to be level. And then if that means that's level, then you have to go on other things like who's won the bigger European Cup, who's won the most trophies overall, and that'll fall into Celtic's hands. So, yeah. Albert McCready says Celtic never liquidate it for starters. A club born into a particular tradition. Rangers liquidate it, adopt that tradition to rival Celtic's much bigger club. Thoughts on that? Did Rangers adopt their tradition to rival Celtics?
A club born into a particular tradition. Albert McCready.
Rangers were founded first. What the fuck are you talking about? Adopt their tradition.
Yeah. 16 years early.
Let's see. Mr. Freeland says this is an international break poll if ever I saw one. Yeah, goddamn right. Macaulay, HMFC says Celtic causes the Champions League.
Is that your burner account, mate?
Nope. John says the old age question. I ticked the Celtic button because I ask what everyone means by big in this context. That's the last comment. I think it's pretty obvious. Just mean who's the bigger club.
Yeah.
And you can define big by whoever you want. Let us know what you think big means. Does big mean who's got the most fans? Does big mean who sells at the most stadium seats? Does big mean who's got the most trophies? Or who's won the bigger European Cups? I mean, it's up to you what big means.
But see the whole stadium thing, right? And like how many seats are sold out. I mean, to me that's just the size of the stadium, right? Because we've seen this season that Rangers, even back at Ibrox, it's not been sold out every match, right? But then, as we talked about earlier, Celtic were winning league titles when Rangers weren't in the league, and they were closing stands. So you can. I don't think size of stadiums, right?
I do. I think that's one thing that always held Liverpool back. When Anfield held like 20,000 less than Old Trafford. I thought that was always a piss take.
Yeah. It's not way less than that.
Nah, at one point Anfield used to hold like 45.
Aye, so it's 30,000 less. That's what I'm saying. So it's way
Nah,
more.
Old Trafford was only 60,000 odds back when it got bigger.
Point is, that's where we're going to end it.
Anfield was like 45 and Old Trafford was like 67, so it was like 22.
Damn.
Something like that. Obviously, Anfield's got bigger now and Old Trafford's got bigger as well. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's where we're going to end it. For me, it's personally Celtic, and I think it will be Celtic for the foreseeable future. Unless Rangers turn it around now. If Rangers come back, win the title this season, if Rangers can have a couple of seasons where they win back-to-back trophies, if Rangers have a couple of years where they're in the Champions League, getting the Champions League money, and Celtic are in the Europa League, and if Rangers can have a few seasons of dominant success, which they sustain, then I think you can maybe make the argument for them. But I mean, as of right now, the only thing that Rangers currently have is we've got more league trophies, and that could very well come to an end at the end of this season. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Celtic. You're going to go, I believe, with Celtic, and I think this poll definitely went with Celtic because, as we see, 62%. I think that's it. We'll leave it there, guys. Till next time, we need club football back.
Yep.
I mean, maybe international football wouldn't be that bad, but when you've got Steve Clarke managing you and you have only won one game in 15, it was against Gibraltar, then you know that you are in trouble. Anyway, that's it. Till next time. Peace.